Hey, this is Jesse James here at Evansville Harley Davidson. I want to show you more about the Road Glide CVO ST and a few of my own thoughts on it. So the first thing I'll point out here is up in the front. I'm not sure of what the specific name is for that brake rotor, but you'll notice it's different than the traditional setup. And the reason for that is it breaks up the heat a little bit more as you're braking. For your more performance-oriented bike, that makes it to where it's not getting as hot as it would if it stayed with the more traditional style. This wheel also reminds me a lot of the Prodigy wheel, which was available on the Specials and STs last year, except for this one has a little bit of its own take on it. You'll also notice something I really like. It has the CVO ST there on the inner side of the wheel, and that's not like a graphic or anything that was put on there. That is like actually textured. And so like it's engraved in there, and I like that little attention to detail for the CVO. It's also got your engine bar up there. The engine, of course, is also a very big difference since this is the Screaming Eagle 121 high output engine, so this one does not have variable valve timing. I'm also a big fan of the style of the floorboards and brakes, but I am not a big fan of the size. I get why they went for it, because it was looking for a more sport feel, which you would have a smaller peg or smaller footboard for that type of riding. However, for touring, for me, I would think that you'd want a bigger floorboard. That way you can move your foot around to different positions for those cross-country ventures like you'll see. So I wear a size 11 in Vans, and I am clearly over the front and the back. That is more preference than anything else. I'm sure there's plenty of people that have that footboard, and they are plenty happy with it. And then, of course, you do have the Screaming Eagle across it going into the tank, and Harley Davidson written out on the tank like we saw on the STs last year, and that the race team uses a lot. That it does have an upgrade to its suspension, so you can more on the fly do fine adjustments to it. Exactly what you'd expect out of a performance bike. Back here, you'll notice it has a cover of where you would normally see the secondary seat for a passenger. It is just a solo seat, and it does have the CVO ST there. The reason being for that is, again, designing it for that more performance orientation, less for two-up cross-country. You can take that back carbon fiber piece off and put a seat that would fit on the other touring bikes. And it's really easy to do. You just loosen that nut there, and then you'll be able to pop that off really easy. But yeah, any of the 24 touring seats will fit onto this. And now a lot of people have talked about how where we've got the suspension set up on this, it is where you used to put your docking hardware. There is a way to put docking hardware onto this bike. I'm not entirely sure what the technicals of it are, but essentially it just takes a spacer and it goes more towards the outside, and then you're set and you're ready to roll two up with a backrest or a tour pack if that is your desire. As you can see, they've got carbon fiber all over the bike. It is a mesh carbon fiber instead of a laced, and what that does is it makes it where each piece, since the individual parts of it are going to fall in different places, each CVO ST is going to have its own little accents throughout the carbon fiber. Now the CVO ST's windshield is more of a chopped style, again going from what they were doing in the King of the Baggers, where it's everything is sleek down for weight. You can put a different type of windshield on it. You'll notice, like kind of looking here at the side, that it is significantly shorter than on the other Road Glides. But there are plenty of windshield options available out there to put onto it. I know Harley's got a lot of them out right now, of course. And then I'd heard that Clockworks was having some out too, but I personally just haven't seen it quite yet. We've also got the Fast Johnny logo on the side of the bike. The race team has really dug that, and so it put it on the bike that they helped with. This bike is also the only bike that I'm aware of in the touring family that has come with a T-bar riser setup. Granted, it's more of a mini T-bar riser, but it is in place there. And turn this on. The biggest difference, and really the coolest thing in my mind about the CVO ST, is down there in the corner. With its different ride modes, it has a track mode. The cool things about that track mode is, one, it changes the top speed up to 120 instead of the usual around 110 where they've been governed at. And with that track mode as well, so since each mode changes how the bike responds and its engine mapping as well, that the engine mapping on that track mode is actually very close to the exact same setup that Kyle Wyman, Harley's factory racer, has on his bike. So it's a cool little Easter egg in my mind. And to kind of sum it all up, this CVO has really been popular. I remember when I saw it, I dug it immediately, and I remember telling some of my coworkers, I'm like, that bike that's gonna set the world on fire for 2024. And they have not lasted long either. So let me know what you think and what other questions you have.